Hi class, here we are at the end of Module 1 and I want to thank you that you have done very well during Module 1. Having said that, I want us to use this time to do a little recap in terms of what we did in Module 1. So Module 1 consisted of 5 weeks. For week 1, it was a simple meet and greet. We introduced ourselves to each other and we used the time to familiarize ourselves with the Blackboard platform. As we moved into week 2, we looked at the sociological imagination, we looked at the origins of sociology, including the impact of sociology on society. By the time we got to week 3, we looked at research, including the research process and the challenges that exist when doing research. Week 4, we looked at culture, specifically looking at things such as cultural integration, and we looked at the ramifications of cultural integration on our current society. Week 5 had us recapping or looking back at what we did weeks 2 through 4, which in essence covered chapters 1 through chapter 3 of your textbook. In addition to your providing a summary of those chapters and those weeks, there was also a quiz which captured what was covered between chapters 1 through chapter 3. Now, I want to talk about something, and I know that we've come this far in the class, and I imagine that some of you may still have questions about your grades, especially the discussion grades. So I am going to use this time to talk a little bit about the grades for those of you who still do not understand the grading process and how that works in terms of the discussion. So in front of me, you will see a grading rubric. And on this grading rubric, you will find 4 main items on the grading rubric. The first item on the grading rubric, and this doesn't seem to be in any coherent order, but the first item is your response to the original post, followed by your response to peers, followed by whether or not you included textbook references, and finally, a look at grammar. And when put together, this combines your total score for the discussion for that week. So let me delve a little bit more in this. All right. So if you take a look at the grading rubric that looks at your original response, I want you to pay close attention. The score ranges from no work submitted to proficient. Guys, I encourage you to aim for the proficient. And when you take a look at the proficient, one of the things you will find is there are stipulations that are required in order for you to get a grade of proficiency. I want you to pay attention to this very closely. So for each of the items, the textbook inclusion, the response to peers, and the spelling, again, it ranges from no work submitted to proficient. I can't underscore enough how much I urge you to focus on the proficient category. That way, if you focus on that category, you're bound to get the full score for the discussion for that week. And I know some of you, didn't get it up until now, but it's not too late. All right, it's certainly not too late. Once you start again preparing your post, I want you to run your post by the grading rubric. I want to share something else with you. So, one of the things that I do when I read your post and I start to grade your post is I pull up a Word document. On my screen is a blank Word document. So you pull up a blank Word document, and if you take a look at the top, you will see a part of the top that says editor, right? On the blank portion, you paste the work that you have done in the blank portion. And once you place the work that you have done on the blank portion, you now go to the editor section, right? Because now you're going to grade your paper before it comes to me. So you will know your grade before I see your paper, all right? So again, you pull up a blank Word document. Once you have this blank Word document, you paste the material. If you haven't typed it originally in a Word document, you paste it in this Word document, and the next step follows. You paste, as you paste it, you will see to the uppermost left-hand corner, there's a student's work or a portion of a student's work that's there, right? To the right, you will see a column that says corrections and refinements. Now, once I pull this up, it tells me how many spelling errors you have. It tells me how many of your sentences are grammatically incorrect. It tells me the percentage of your work that is viewed for clarity. It also tells me how many sentences you have written. I know this is a challenge for some of you, especially those for whom English is not your first language. And so if you're having problems with things such as syntax, I urge you, take a minute to reach out to the tutoring center. And as you reach out to the tutoring center, let them know, hey, this is an assignment that I want to submit. How does it look in terms of grammar, in terms of syntax? Now, if you don't have the time to do that, right here in Word, Word will actually help you to do that because Word will flag if your sentences are too long. Word will flag if you have errors in grammar. So there are things that Word will flag for you. If you take the moment, like I said, and just document your work in a Word document, and go through the go through the editing process. Now, the next thing I want to point out is I know that some of you have been losing points for textbook reference. You will notice that this um, one of your peers submitted this, and I just cut and paste the original thing, right? And I want you to pay attention to how this person did get the full points for references or textbook citation. You will notice that here they point to Giddens et al., page 42. Here they point to Giddens et al., page 39. And there's another, oh yeah, and here they point to Giddens et al., page 39 again. So you see, in three separate instances, they are showing me what they're showing me the material that they got from the text, and they're giving me page references. Now, what I do simultaneously, I have the textbook right beside me. So I open the textbook. Yes, I actually do open the textbook, and I look at the page number to see if the page number coincides with what is in the textbook. So some of you are saying, but Professor, I don't use a textbook. My document is an ebook. Thanks to Norton, I have an ebook that's on my computer. So if the page number doesn't coincide there, then I go to my ebook and I look at the page that you've referenced to see if that coincides in the ebook. All right, guys? So again, please, and this tells me that you're actually using your textbook, that you didn't waste your money buying a book that you won't ever open. All right? So again, don't forget you're putting three citations, three references directly from your textbook, and you're putting the page number where you got the reference from, so I can actually go to that page number and see your reference. It also helps with plagiarism as well. It protects you from plagiarism because that way you're saying, hey, look, this wasn't my original idea. I got this from Giddens, right? So let's say you don't want to use Giddens, you want to use the material that I have posted online, then you need to reference that. If it's a video, say the video, say what part of the video, and be very specific, especially if you're coding something from the lecture online. Guys, we have successfully completed 5 of 15 weeks. In other words, module 1. Mission accomplished. Very good. Thank you. I hasten to see you in the threads as we begin module 2.